If you search online right now for the best places to retire in America, the algorithm is going to serve you the exact same list of Texas cities it has been serving for the last 10 years. The financial magazines and the real estate brochures will give you the same tired pitch. Move to Texas. We have no state income tax. The weather is warm. The housing is cheap. You can sell your 3-bedroom house in California or New York, buy a massive brick home in the Texas suburbs in cash, and live like royalty on your retirement savings. That was the reality in 2015. It was mostly true in 2019. But in 2026, that pitch is not just outdated, it is financially dangerous. The mainstream media and commission-driven real estate agents will never talk about the dark side of the Texas growth machine. They will not tell you that because Texas has no state income tax, the local governments fund everything through property taxes. And when home values double, like they have in dozens of Texas towns over the last 5 years, your property tax bill doubles right along with it. If you are a 35-year-old tech worker making $250,000 a year, no state income tax is a massive benefit. But if you are a 65-year-old retiree living on Social Security and a fixed pension, the state of Texas does not care that your income went down. They only care that the assessed value of your home went up. Right now, across this state, there are retirees who paid off their mortgages 10 years ago, who are being forced to sell their homes because they literally cannot afford to pay the county tax assessor $12,000 a year just for the privilege of living in the house they already own. Today, we are looking past the mainstream billboards. We are taking a deep dive into the top 10 retirement towns in Texas that no one talks about honestly. We are going to look at the hidden budget towns where you can still survive on a fixed income, the overbuilt suburbs where cash-heavy retirees can exploit panicking builders for massive discounts, and the absolute tax traps that will bankrupt your retirement in less than a decade. This is going to be a comprehensive masterclass. Get a notepad. Let us get into the data. Number 10, Zapata, the cheap lake trap. Starting our list at number 10 is Zapata, a small town of about 5,000 people in Zapata County, sitting right on the Texas-Mexico border along the Rio Grande. If you are a retiree looking strictly at a Zillow map and sorting by the lowest price possible, Zapata is going to light up like a beacon. You can find homes here in the low dollar 100,000s. For decades, Zapata was a premier retirement destination for a very specific demographic, anglers. The town sits on the shore of Falcon Lake, a massive reservoir that was once one of the premier bass fishing destinations in the entire state. Retirees would buy cheap properties, park their boats, and enjoy an incredibly low cost of living. But here is the reality nobody talks about. The lake has been struggling with critically low water levels for years. And when the water dried up, the fishing tourism that propped up the local economy dried up right along with it. According to our latest data, Zillow projects a 7.2% price decline for Zapata heading into 2026. For a town where homes already sell in the low hundreds, that kind of drop wipes out a meaningful chunk of your equity. Furthermore, the economy in Zapata is extremely limited. There is no major employer. The town is incredibly remote. Laredo is an hour south, San Antonio is over 3 hours north. For a retiree, that means the nearest major hospital and specialized medical care is a significant drive away. Zapata is cheap for a reason. The town is losing population and losing its primary attraction to climate and water management issues. If you just want a cheap house and do not care about equity or healthcare access, you can retire here for pennies. But understand that you are buying into a declining asset. Number 9, Harlingen, the affordable slow lane. At number 9, we move to the Rio Grande Valley with Harlingen, a city of about 70,000 people sitting at the very southern tip of Texas, about 30 minutes from the Mexican border. When national publications talk about retiring in Texas, they almost never mention the valley. But if you are on a strict fixed income, you absolutely must look at Harlingen. The median home price here is well under $200,000. It is one of the most affordable cities in the United States. You get a warm, subtropical climate, a genuinely slow pace of life, and incredible local food. The cost of groceries, services, and local labor is exceptionally low. But you have to understand the trade-offs before you move your life savings here. The reason Harlingen is so affordable is because the local economy is structurally weak. Cameron County has a poverty rate that is roughly double the national average. The job market does not generate the kind of wages that support long-term home price appreciation. If you buy a house in Harlingen, it will be cheap, but it will stay cheap. Selling a home here requires immense patience, and days on market stretch far longer than the rest of Texas. In real estate, a city that does not appreciate is a city where your money sits completely still while inflation eats the rest of the market. Furthermore, the summer heat is brutal, regularly exceeding 100 degrees with massive humidity. Harlingen is not a trap, but it is the slow lane. If you want to stretch your Social Security check to the absolute maximum and you never plan on selling the house to make a profit, Harlingen is a true hidden option. Number 8, Abilene, the isolated haven. Number 8 takes us deep into West Texas to Abilene. A city of about 125,000 people sitting on Interstate 20. Abilene is the ultimate hidden retirement haven for people who are tired of traffic, tired of crime, and tired of the massive Dallas-Fort Worth sprawl. It is home to 3 universities, a strong faith-based community, and Dyess Air Force Base. Most importantly for retirees, it has a robust, established healthcare system, which is very rare for a city of this size in West Texas. And the median home price? Still hovering proudly under $200,000, but nobody talks about the isolation. Abilene is 3 hours from Dallas, 3 hours from Austin, and 5 hours from San Antonio. If you move here, you are moving to an island in the middle of the Great Plains. The private sector job market is thin, which means population growth has been essentially flat for decades. Because the demand is flat, the resale market is treacherous. If you buy a retirement home in Abilene and decide 5 years later you want to move back to the Midwest to be closer to your grandkids, you are competing against an inventory of homes at similar low prices with no compelling reason for a buyer to choose yours. It will sit on the market, add in the relentless West Texas wind and the occasional dust storms, and you have a very specific lifestyle. Abilene is a fantastic, safe, and affordable place to retire, but only if you genuinely want to be left alone. Number 7, Galveston, the fixed income insurance nightmare. At number 7 is Galveston, an island city of about 53,000 people on the Texas Gulf Coast. Every year, thousands of retirees from the Midwest drive down to Galveston, see the historic Victorian architecture, look at the ocean views, and decide they want to live out their golden years on the beach. They look at Zillow, see a nice house for $300,000, calculate the standard 30-year fixed mortgage, and assume their pension can easily cover it. That assumption will bankrupt you. What the real estate brochures do not emphasize is that Galveston is an island sitting 8 feet above sea level in the direct path of Hurricane Alley. The Great Storm of 1900 killed up to 12,000 people here. Hurricane Ike in 2008 left parts of the island uninhabitable for months. Because of this undeniable risk, the insurance math in Galveston is completely broken. When you buy a house here, standard homeowners insurance does not cover flood or severe windstorm damage. You have to buy separate, state-mandated windstorm insurance, TWIA, and separate flood insurance. These premiums do not build equity. They are sunk costs. And in 2026, those policies are adding $300 to $500 to a monthly carrying cost when your insurance premiums go from $2,000 a year to $6,000 a year, and the county raises your property taxes on top of that. Your fixed income gets completely eviscerated. Galveston is a beautiful place to visit, but retiring on a barrier island is not an investment. It is a high-stakes gamble against the Gulf of Mexico. Number 6, Conroe, the oversupplied lake town. Number 6 is Conroe, a city of about 100,000 people sitting 40 miles north of Houston. For the last 10 years, Conroe has been the premier destination for retirees who wanted access to the world-class medical facilities in Houston, but wanted to live near the piney woods and the recreational boating of Lake Conroe. It was the perfect compromise, but Conroe became a victim of its own success. The national builders saw the demand and they aggressively overbuilt. Master plan communities went up in every direction. Now, the supply has violently outpaced the demand. The market has completely tilted. If you are a retiree looking to buy, Conroe is currently offering a massive hidden opportunity. Builders in the Conroe area are sitting on completely empty inventory. They are panicking. To avoid carrying costs, they are secretly offering $40,000 to $60,000 in price cuts, paying all closing costs, and buying down mortgage rates into the low 5s. But if you are a retiree who bought in Conroe back in 2021, you are caught in a trap. You are watching your equity shrink in real time. Why would a new buyer purchase your 3-year-old used home for $400,000 at a 7% interest rate, when the builder across the street is offering a brand new home for $380,000 at a 5% interest rate? They will not. Conroe proves that massive growth without demand discipline destroys resale equity. Number 5, New Braunfels, the overcrowded hill country. At number 5, we look at New Braunfels, a city of 100,000 people sitting halfway between Austin and San Antonio. If there is a billboard for the perfect Texas retirement, New Braunfels is it. Founded by German immigrants, it boasts the Como and Guadalupe rivers, historic beer gardens, and a slow, European pace of life. For decades, this was the absolute dream location for Texas retirees, but then the California exodus found it. Retirees and remote workers realized it was an hour from 2 major airports and had postcard aesthetics. The population exploded. The median home price, which was a highly affordable $240,000 in 2019, has doubled to roughly $480,000 today. New Braunfels is on this list because the charm is being systematically destroyed by the sheer volume of people. The Como River, the shortest navigable river in the country, is now so overcrowded during the summer that the city has to limit access. Interstate 35 is a parking lot, and the tax burden? Property taxes on a $480,000 home here run close to $12,000 a year. The people who moved here 15 years ago to enjoy a quiet German Texas retirement are watching both the quiet and their bank accounts disappear under the weight of municipal assessments. The dream is over. It is just another expensive suburb now. Number 4, McKinney, the corporate takeover. Number 4 is McKinney. Sitting 30 miles north of Dallas with a population of 230,000. McKinney used to be the quintessential historic Texas town. Retirees loved it for the beautifully preserved 19th century downtown square and the old courthouse. It felt authentic. But McKinney got in the way of a massive corporate migration. When Toyota, J.P. Morgan Chase, and State Farm moved into neighboring Plano and Frisco, tens of thousands of high-paid corporate workers flooded Collin County. McKinney became the landing zone. The population quintupled. Masterplan communities swallowed the ranch land. The median home price in McKinney is now $640,000. It doubled from $320,000 in just 7 years. The historic square is still there, but it is surrounded by a hyper-competitive, high-stress corporate suburb. And the math for retirees is brutal. Property taxes on a $640,000 home in Collin County run close to $15,000 a year. For a retired couple, $15,000 is roughly what their entire annual Social Security benefit covers for one person. McKinney did not just get expensive, it explicitly priced out the fixed-income demographic. Number 3, Buda, the ultimate tax foreclosure warning. If you want to know what the absolute worst-case scenario looks like for a Texas retiree, look at number 3, Buda. A small city of 18,000 people just 15 miles south of Austin. For 2 decades, every real estate agent in Austin told retirees the exact same lie: move down to Buda. The homes are half the price, it is quiet, and you can retire without going broke. That pitch worked perfectly until everyone showed up at the exact same time. The median home price in Buda doubled from $220,000 in 2019 to $460,000 today. Here's why Buda makes this list as an absolute warning. Hays County has a large population of retirees who moved to Buda in the early 2000s. They did everything right. They paid off their 30-year mortgages. They assumed they had locked in their housing costs for life. They did not. Because Texas taxes are tied to assessed home values, those paid-off homes are now being assessed at nearly $500,000. Property taxes on those homes run close to $11,000 a year. For a couple living purely on Social Security, an $11,000 tax bill is now higher than their mortgage ever was. Right now, in Buda, retirees are actively selling the homes they paid off 15 years ago because the county tax assessor priced them out. They are literally being evicted by property taxes. Let that sink in before you move here. Number 2, Taylor, the builder panic opportunity. Number 2 is Taylor, a city of 17,000 people about 35 miles northeast of Austin. Taylor is on this list not because it is a traditional retirement town, but because it currently represents the greatest financial opportunity for a cash-heavy retiree in the entire state. In 2021, Samsung announced a $17 billion semiconductor plant in Taylor. Speculators, flippers, and developers lost their minds. They assumed Taylor would become the next Silicon Valley of the South. National builders broke ground on massive, sprawling master plan communities all around the city. Then, reality hit. Samsung announced massive production delays. They scaled back hiring. The speculative bubble violently popped. But the builders had already poured the concrete. Today, Taylor has the most concentrated empty inventory in Texas. Entire completed blocks of brand new homes sit with lockboxes on the doors, completely vacant. If you are a retiree who just sold a house in California or the Northeast, and you are sitting on $500,000 in cash, Taylor is your playground. Builders here are panicking. We are seeing closing credits of $20,000, free solar packages, and outright price reductions of $40,000 to $60,000 off base prices. You can walk into a sales office, point at a finished, empty house, and dictate your own terms. It is the ultimate buyer's market. Number 1, Georgetown, the Sun City water crisis. Number 1 on our list is the most famous retirement destination in Texas, and the one with the darkest hidden reality. Georgetown. A city of 90,000 people, 30 miles north of Austin, Georgetown is home to Sun City, Texas, a massive 55-plus active adult community with over 9,000 homes, multiple golf courses, and a social calendar that rivals a luxury cruise ship. Because of Sun City, Georgetown was ranked as the fastest-growing city in the entire United States for 3 straight years. Not the fastest in Texas, the fastest in America, but growth at that magnitude always breaks something. In Georgetown, it broke the water. The Georgetown water utility serves a city whose demand has radically outpaced its supply. The city has been forced to implement severe summer water restrictions year after year. The infrastructure simply cannot handle the sheer volume of 9,000 new retirees trying to water their lawns in the middle of a 100-degree Texas summer. Furthermore, the tax trap has closed. The median home price has doubled to $540,000. The property taxes on that home in Williamson County now run around $13,000 a year. Georgetown wins the National Growth Contest every single year, but the retirees who already live there on fixed incomes are the ones paying the massive infrastructure and tax bills to fund that growth. It is a beautiful city, but you are buying into a strained grid and a hostile tax environment. Surviving Texas on a fixed income. Those are 10 retirement towns in Texas that no one talks about honestly. From the isolated affordability of Abilene to the catastrophic tax traps in Buda and Georgetown. If you have watched this far, you are obviously serious about your financial future. And because you are serious, we need to have a masterclass conversation about how to actually survive a Texas retirement. Because the real estate agents are not going to tell you the truth. Their job is to sell you the house, collect their 3% commission, and leave you holding the bag. My job is to protect your equity. Here are the 3 undeniable rules for retiring in Texas in 2026. Rule number 1, the Zillow lie. When you are sitting in your living room in Chicago or Los Angeles scrolling through Zillow, you will see a listing for a $500,000 house in McKinney or New Braunfels. At the bottom, Zillow provides an estimated monthly payment that includes property taxes. Do not ever, under any circumstances, trust that tax estimate. Zillow pulls the current property tax bill of the current owner. In Texas, if the current owner is over 65, their school taxes are frozen, and their assessed value increases have been capped for years. They might be paying taxes based on a $250,000 valuation. But the moment you buy that house for $500,000, the deed transfers. The county tax assessor gets an alert. Next year, all those caps are removed, and the county reassesses the house at your new $500,000 purchase price. Your tax bill will jump by thousands of dollars overnight. This sticker shock is exactly what forces retirees into foreclosure. You must calculate the county tax rate against your actual purchase price before you buy. Rule number 2, the MUD tax trap. If you buy into a beautiful, brand new master plan community with resort pools and hiking trails, you need to ask who paid for the water pipes and the roads. The developer did not pay for it. You do. Texas developers use municipal utility districts, MUDs, to issue municipal bonds to build the infrastructure. And you, the homeowner, pay those bonds back through an additional tax on top of your county and school taxes. A MUD tax can push your effective property tax rate over 3%. On a $500,000 home, that is $15,000 a year. When you walk into a sales office, demand to see the total effective tax rate, including the MUD. If it is over 2.8%, walk away. Your fixed income cannot survive it. Rule number 3, leverage the builder panic. We talked about Taylor and Conroe. Texas is currently dealing with a massive oversupply of new homes. The pandemic pulled demand forward, and builders built too fast. If you are retiring with cash from a previous home sale, you hold all the leverage. Do not act like a grateful buyer in a sales office. Act like an investor. Demand the $20,000 closing cost credit. Demand the premium lot upgrade for free. Tell them you will sign today if they drop the base price by 10%. The national builders are bleeding cash on empty inventory, and they will absolutely deal with you if you negotiate hard. Retiring in Texas is still a great option, but the days of blindly buying any house and expecting it to be cheap are over. You are buying into a micro-government, and you have to audit that government before you move your life savings there. That is exactly why this channel exists. We do not do fluff. We do not do sunny neighborhood tours. We track the numbers, we expose the traps, and we give you the unvarnished reality so you do not make a massive financial mistake. If you want to navigate the Texas housing market safely and keep your retirement intact, hit that subscribe button right now. It is completely free, and it is the best real estate insurance you can get. Drop a comment down below. Are you a retiree who got hit by an explosive tax reassessment? Are you looking to buy in one of the cities we mentioned today? Tell me your story. I read every single comment.